Hey there, did you ever think I'd show you a picture of a bunch of Campbell's soup and tell you that it is a famous artwork? Well, it is. An artist from Pittsburgh named Andy Warhol, who became quite famous with his career after moving to New York City, created this image along with many others of common items you could buy in the store, things everybody knew of, things everybody consumed or ate or purchased, like Campbell's soup. And he used repetition to show it to us many, many times. He was also interested in other images that everyone knew. So here's another one of his of the Statue of Liberty. Again, he's using that repetition, changing the background and color on the item, but repeating the same design. This is the last one I'm going to show you of his, and this was a celebrity at the time Andy was alive named Marilyn Monroe. She was an actress, and again, the image is the same, but the background color and the color on the item changes. We're going to try this out today using repetition and changing the color of the item and the background like Andy Warhol did. And ours, though, will be quite simple, but still an enjoyable item, something everybody consumes, something everybody loves, a cupcake. So I'm going to grab my piece of paper here and start out with just some folding to give myself some basic sections in my artwork. So I'm looking at the paper the tall way, going to bring bottom to the top, lining up the edges very neatly before I crease. I'm going to crease extra hard there so that edge is very easy for me to see. When I open it now, I have two sections. I'm going to fold the other way. So I'm looking at my paper the tall way. Now I'm taking the sides together, lining up the edges before I crease. I'm going to try to give that a nice hard, crisp crease to give myself these 4 boxes. Now, it is entirely your choice whether your artwork goes vertically, the tall ways today, or if you choose, you can do your cupcakes in these sections horizontally or the wide way. I'm going to choose this way because that will allow me to do a little bit of taller frosting on my cupcake. And I'm going to show you one way to draw a cupcake here. If you know a different way or want to branch off and do a different design for yours, totally fine with me. So I'm going to take a second. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to outline my fold lines just so you can see a little better how big I'm drawing inside each of my boxes. So that might help you there. Again, you don't have to stop and do that. That's just me showing you. On the top of my section here, I'm going to make my first little shape for the frosting. I know that sounds a little strange, but I'm going to build my cupcake from the very top of the frosting all the way down to the bottom. I think you'll see how this might be a good decision for you too. So at the top of my section, I'm going to swing out with sort of a swooping raindrop here. I'm then going to come to the side of that, swing out around the bottom of that shape and back to it. Same kind of shape below that one. So I'm coming to the side of it, swinging out. There's my next layer of frosting. Now, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between the bottom of my frosting and the edge of my cupcake holder. And that is if I look at the side of this, I'm going to come down here and do a slightly angled line for the base of my cupcake. Same over here. I see that the frosting is here, so I'm going to drop down, angled line. The front of the cupcake here is going to swing out just a little bit. It's not a perfectly straight line. It would curve towards me. Now, along the top here, to finish this, I'm going to do a series of bumps here. Again, remember how this curved? This should curve as well. So I'm trying to bring that forward a little bit and swing it up that way. Now, each of those bumps should be then connected to the bottom. Now I can connect my frosting to my cupcake wrapper. So I'm going to come to the side now and again touch it down. Same over here. I've now got a cupcake. Again, this is my cupcake. If you feel like you know of a different one, or maybe you want to put a strawberry at the top or a cherry instead of this sort of just icing shape, fine with me. I'm just going to use the same one now and draw it several more times. Not going to give you the directions all again, but it is simply side of that first swooping raindrop shape. I do 2 more layers before doing my cupcake wrapper, which does not touch the frosting yet. I save that for last. There we go. Again, in Andy Warhol's work, the image was generally the same. He did that with a technique called screen printing, where the artist is having a screen. The image never changes in the screen printing process. If you've ever seen a group of t-shirts that were all the same, those were probably screen printed too. It's an easy way to get an image to all be the same. That's what Andy typically worked in. He was a trained artist in other ways, but eventually in his career he was doing mostly screen printing with the same image, just changing the colors, which is what we'll do today. Again, here's my last swooping icing shape. 2 layers before my wrapper. Trying to get those bumps for the wrapper to come towards me. Again, I'm going fast now, you should not. Take your time. And now, I've got my 4. If your home has markers, if you've got markers to use today, great. If you've only got crayons handy, colored pencils, whatever you have will work with. All I need you to know is kind of like the Statue of Liberty example. While our image is the same, the item and the background should change each time. So I'm not going to make you watch me do that. That would be quite boring. I'm going to set you free now and end the video and just ask you to choose icing and wrapper shape. They can be different, but they both should be different than the background color. For each of these 4, change your plan, change your design, your color choices, and have fun today. Thank you.